Afghanistan flexed their muscle to launch their 2024 Men's T20 World Cup campaign. It's a tough first day at school for Uganda, who go down by 125 runs in Providence, Guyana, the fourth biggest margin of victory by runs in Men's T20 World Cup history. Welcome to Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPNcricinfo Timeout. Samuel Badree joins us from Guyana to look back on what was a thoroughly one-sided affair, as it turned out, Badree.
Yeah, absolutely. Comprehensive and commanding performance by Afghanistan. I suppose that was the type of performance that West Indies were looking for against Papua New Guinea yesterday. But Afghanistan showing all of their class and their experience at this level against the debutants, Uganda, and they felt the brunt of a very powerful Afghanistan team tonight.
Yeah, and that's a good parallel you draw, because you saw Papua New Guinea push West Indies a lot more in what was a day game back then. But this win for Afghanistan, set up by their openers, Ramanullah Gurbaz and Ibrahim Zadran, absolutely smashing it in the first half of that innings. They're always key to Afghanistan's batting, and they took off in the manner Afghanistan will hope.
Yeah, a record open partnership for them in T20 World Cup. We've always said that this Afghanistan team has a strong bowling attack, and whenever their batting can click and whenever their batting can strengthen, they will be a force to be reckoned with in international cricket. And with those two openers and a few coming through the middle, in years to come, and not the too distant future as well, this Afghanistan team would be one of the global powerhouses. But Zadran and Gurbaz, absolute class. They've been phenomenal. They know each other quite well. They've played a lot of cricket growing up together, and they really stamped their authority tonight.
Having seen both these games at Providence, was there a significant difference in batting conditions? Was batting a lot easier since this was an evening game compared to what we saw when West Indies chased against PNG?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that the conditions for batting was more favorable at that 8:30 p.m. start, with the dew setting in. Even in the first innings, the ball came on more nicely onto the bats, and I felt as though the batters were able to express themselves a lot more. The intent was also there, as compared to that game yesterday, which was quite slow. There was prodigious turn. We did see some turn tonight, but nothing close to what we saw during the day game yesterday.
Right, so Gurbaz and Ibrahim Zadran set it up in the first innings, and then the second innings was the Fazal Haq Farooqi show. A raft of records broken by the Afghan left-arm seamer, the best figures for Afghanistan at the Men's T20 World Cup, and really, Samuel, all the Ugandan batters were quite at sea.
Yeah, and his career best figures, 5 wickets for 9 runs, set up in the first over. The very first delivery ball in the second innings was drilled through the offside for 4. But he stuck to his strength, which is to bowl full and look to get some swing. Second delivery, wicket, third delivery, wicket. And then when he came back for a second spell, 2 wickets in 2 deliveries. So twice he was on a hat-trick. He wasn't able to go on to get a hat-trick, but just the sheer quality from Fazal Haq, the sheer pace, the sheer swing, something that Uganda are not used to, that type of high-quality bowling. And he was just in dismantling form tonight.
Yeah, and if you look at that Ugandan batting innings, only 2 batters reaching double digits. This was about as tough an initiation into the big leagues. It's a great story that they made it here to a T20 World Cup ahead of someone like Zimbabwe. But this would have shown them that there's just that gulf that is tough to cover.
It was a baptism of fire, wasn't it? It's only the second time that they're playing against a full member nation. You mentioned Zimbabwe, who they beat to get here. They played against Afghanistan. It's a learning experience for them. They would be very proud of their efforts in getting here, and I'm sure that they'd want to compete with some of the higher ranked teams and show exactly what they're capable of. But tonight was a mauling, but they'll still have their chin-ups, they'll still have their heads held high, because it's the T20 World Cup after all. They'll learn from this experience, and hopefully from their standpoint, they'll come stronger in the remaining matches.
And if you look at a positive for Uganda, they'll look back at the back end of that Afghanistan batting effort, because that 150 plus in 14 overs, it looked like 220, 230 was on the cards. But the last 6 overs going for only 31 and no boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. 14.3 overs, 154 without loss. 20 overs, 183 for 5. So they will be very pleased with the back end. You mentioned a couple of their bowlers did really well. Cosmas Payuta, he got 2 for 25. Brian Masaba, 2 for 21. Their captain, those 2 in particular were quite good. They were quite skillful. So I think from a bowling standpoint, They would be happy with the efforts to restrict Afghanistan to under 200, but it's their batting where they really want to fire and really show a much greater fight in the remaining matches.
Yes, they'll hope to pull up the socks when they're out on the field next. They will stay at Providence to take on Papua New Guinea. Afghanistan's next game, also at this venue, is up against New Zealand. That could be so vital in this group. Thank you so much, Samuel Badree, for covering the game for us from Providence. That's all on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPNcricinfo Time.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.